Here we are again in Vincenzo's kitchen. Hello everybody, hope you're having a great day. Fortunately we had some rain last night, cooled these temps down, and so I went out and picked up a few things out of the garden, and now I'm going to put together my version of a chicken cacciatore, and with some fresh vegetables. How good is that? All right, we've on the stove we have my bigger pan, which I've leveled out with the cup underneath it. I don't know why, but it never sits level. And on the cutting board over there, we have some yellow squash, which has already been the tops and bottoms cut off, some mushrooms, some green zucchini, that's about a half of one, a couple fresh picked peppers like 15 minutes ago, a nice ripe onion, some red sweet pepper, some garlic, and we're going to go here. All right. Now this is going to be a little bit on the chunky style. So we've taken our zucchini and we've made them big. Make them like an X. You want to make some nice colorful food. It's always a little healthier version. I'm going to add some spices to this, but I want to hurry up and get some things going in there. I like varying textures, varying shapes. It makes an interesting dish. I'm picking my yellows a little bit early with the heat, but it also keeps them nice and tender. Get a nice sizzle going. This is a nice hearty Italian dish. I love eating Italian. Got some yellow and green in there. Some varying shapes and sizes. We're going to take our nice portobello mushrooms here. We're going to cut them in chunk pieces. I want some nice big pieces here. Working that knife. Filling up my pan. If these were big enough, I probably could have stuffed them. I love stuffed mushrooms. But I didn't want to turn the oven on, it's just too warm. So we're going to cook this right on top of the stove. That's enough of the yellow squash. We'll take some big pieces of green pepper. Fresh picked, nice and fresh, freshly washed, freshly grown. We're going to pop them in there in some big pieces. I got a couple of them in here. They've already been cored out. Love the colors. I was on Facebook for 2 minutes last evening, and oh my Lord, everybody was making me hungry. People cooking my favorites, chicken parm, nice pizzas, lasagnas. I thought, oh my Lord. All right, we're going to throw some big pieces of onion in here. This is all chunky. I want it chunky. I want to fill this guy up. We're going to take 2 heaping teaspoons of that nice garlic and throw that in there. Oh yeah. Smelling fab already. We're going to take some red pepper. Wish I could say that my peppers had turned red, but they're not ready yet. No pun intended. And so now, I'm going to tilt that camera over there a little bit. We've got our pan just filled with good stuff. Just filled with good stuff. And now we got our sizzle. I'm going to back off this fire just a little bit. I'm going to take a can of chunk chicken breast with the chicken broth right in there and pop that in there. And we're going to just fork this around a little bit. Say, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just forking around. Mix some things up. And now we're going to turn that fire up a little bit. For our seasonings, we're going to throw a little Italian seasoning in there. We're going to throw some basil in there. Basil has nice flavor to vegetables. Take some fresh ground pepper. Again, this is a pepper medley. I like cooking with that. So we're pretty much have this one going. We're going to go from the outside of the pan just to mix a little bit. We want this water to kind of boil off without it boiling over. But that is a nice looking dish. Colorful, healthy. Know where it comes from. Budget stretching, gluten free, diabetic friendly. A lot of goodness in there. I'm going to drain a little bit of that water off. I want you to see how nice that looks. We're going to pop him back on the stove. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our Hunt's, which again is my backup sauce all the time because it has less sugar, it's gluten free, it's flavorful, and it's inexpensive. Hunt's, I use it all the time. This one happens to be a garlic and herb. And we're going to use probably half a can on that. It'll store nicely if you put a zippy bag over it. Stick it in the refrigerator. I've got some nice meatballs in there that are just calling its name. We're going to mix this all up. Remember, we have a high fire on this. And we're going to cover this guy with aluminum foil, and we're just going to let him cook on the stove, top of the stove. He's already nicely bubbling. Just going to lay that on the top there. I don't have a lid big enough for this particular pan. And it's larger than my other ones that I do have the lid with. And so there you have it. Nice, flavorful, gluten-free, diabetic-friendly, fresh picked from the garden. We've got onions and green zucchini. We have yellow zucchini, yellow squash, mushrooms, fresh green pepper, sweet red pepper, garlic in there, a whole can of chunk chicken. Who could ask for anything more? All right. Remember to be kind to one another out there. Help your neighbor if you can. We'll see you.